market report or our market update, sorry. Every seminar we provide a market update. We find that, everyone wants to know what's going on with the Calgary real estate market. I just got to move something off the screen here. And what we've zeroed in on this week is two figures here, total sales and the average price. If you look at total sales, you look at the right-hand part of the screen, down 21.7%. That's year over year. That's November of 2021 compared to 2022 this year. And that's a massive drop in the number of sales that are going on. And why is that?
Yeah, Tim, first of all, we're actually enjoying the slowdown because we actually did, I think, 2 years worth of work in 6 months at the beginning of the year. But why is it happening? It's happening because there's nothing to buy. So people aren't going to sell if there's nowhere to go. And there's this Mexican standoff going on right now with homeowners that are getting stretched with interest rates going up and inflation, Tim. There's this Mexican standoff where they're just stalling and waiting to see what happens with the economy. And we believe, Tim, this market's going to continue to February next year.
Yeah, they may want to sell right now, but they understand that if they sell their house, they've got nowhere to buy. There's so little inventory on the market right now. They may want to move up, an asset category, go from a starter home to an executive level home, but there's nothing for them to buy.
Yeah.
So they're just sort of, like Azad said, they're kind of frozen in play. They won't put their house on the market. And this is happening all across, the Calgary market, every price level.
Yeah, and if you are on our crew portal where you get our investment property sent to you, don't worry, it's not broken. There's just no properties coming on the market, so you're not getting emailed those properties. But let's just dive down into these numbers quickly. Down here, active listings, 3,449. What everybody has to understand out there is Craig does not post the pending listings. Okay, so the pending listings.
No, the pending listings are included in this.
Sorry, you're right here. The pending listings are included in that number. So we always get these phone calls, what about this property or what about that property? And then when we go on our system, we can actually see that it's pending, but the public out there cannot see that property is actually under contract. So we need you to understand that. And out of this 3,449 listings, active listings are roughly 2,814 listings that are actually active. Okay, so Tim was just saying to me today, we're probably going to get to an all-time low over Christmas. And an all-time low looks like it happened in COVID, and it was around 2,200, and we're at 2,800 right now.
Yeah.
What we need you to understand are that 2,800 listings, roughly 1,000 of those are condos. So if you want to go buy a house, there's only 1,700 listings in the whole city.
That's every price range.
That's every price range. So even if you want to, we have a problem where we have clients, but we just don't have anything for them. So that's why we're so excited to bring Basecamp in to do their presentation, because then at least it gives our investors an opportunity to jump into something if they like.
Yeah, and the final number we're going to look at is the bottom right there, the average price. As of today in November, we're at down 1.07%. So it's the first drop that we've seen in the average price. And this is just a month over month. So it's compared to November of 2021. So we're starting to see that average price drop now. But what we do want to stress is that year over year. So when 2022 ends, we're going to still see probably about a 4.5% increase over 2021. So annually, we'll see an increase, but we're starting to see the month over month prices drop, and that's a reflection of the market.
And that's what we've been telling our clients, this second half of the year is that, and the reason why we're telling them is because Toronto and Vancouver have dropped significantly, but we don't feel that's going to happen in Calgary because we never went up here. How much did we go up today? Roughly 6%, right?
That was from the beginning of the year till 6 months in, we went up 6%. Now we're dropping. And even last year, we only went up about 8%.
Yeah. So Calgary, we haven't even got back to where we once were. So that's why we're super excited about actually the condo market, the townhouse market, the condos behind us here. Because what happened with affordability and interest rates, that's dropped people's qualifying amount, okay? So that's dropped the majority of people in the 400 to 600 range, Tim. That's dropped them down into the condo market. And it's almost impossible, unless you're getting a half duplex, unrenovated property or a problem property, it's hard to get a detached or attached home under 450 in this market. So we know the next best thing is the condo market, and it's going to be a very, very exciting year in Calgary for that.
And just a brief note about rising and dropping prices. We were talking to a gentleman from Nanaimo just yesterday about a certain investment opportunity. He was telling us about his principal residence, where he bought it for 1.5, and he said, you know, it shot right up after the depth of COVID, and he said it's dropped now back down to 2.5.
Yeah.
So it shot all the way up to almost 3 million, and now it's down to 2.5. So while it's dropped 10% or 20% from the peak, he's still way ahead.
Yeah.
Like he's made $1 million on his principal residence.
Mm-hmm.
So those decreases that you're hearing about in the newspapers and on the radio, you know, there's, Toronto's down 20%. Well, they're down 20% from the peak. They're not down 20% from, you know, where they started the rise. And we'll go over those types of statistics in the next seminar, because we don't have enough time to go over it right now. But if you look at it as, you know, the prices went up this high and now they're down to here. So they're not down to this base level anymore. They're still up here.
Yeah.
So you can read the numbers any way you want, but pretty much everyone in Canada is still ahead, unless they bought it at the peak.
Exactly.
Right.
Let's go to the next slide, talk about rents, Tim. What's going on with
Okay, so this is the final part of our market update. We're looking at studies that have seen average rents in Canada go up 12% this year. So that's a massive, massive amount. For landlords, it's an awesome stat.
Yeah.
For renters, not so much. But one thing we do want to drill in, if you look at the end of this first paragraph, Calgary's average rents have gone up almost 17%. So if you're a landlord, you know, you can see how you can get a lot more cash flow as long as your mortgage rate and your other costs stay relatively the same.
One thing on that, we know that it's gone up 17%, but if you go back to some of our crew investment tips of the week on our YouTube channel, we actually advise you don't raise the rents that much, okay? Don't go and do it on a good tenant. I mean, if the lease is coming up and someone else is moving in, sure, you go to market rents at that stage, but don't bump it up on good people. There's just no point. If the property is cash flowing and you can afford, I've even got some properties, I'll be honest with you guys out there, I've got some properties that are underwater, but the people are so good, Tim, I'm not even worried about it. And there might be some investors out there thinking, Azad, you're crazy. And I'm not. We're investing, you say it all the time, Tim, we're investing and we're dealing with people and people's lives. And I can tell you, earning an extra $50 off somebody or having no headaches at all, I would go for the no headaches. So we want to stress that, but the rents are going up, and Tim, there's no sign of it slowing down because there's no rent. So,
and that goes to the last paragraph here, a quote from Sean Hildebrand. He's the president of Urban Nation, which assembles these studies. If you look at, he said, the rental market keeps getting hotter and hotter with the interest rate increase. And there's a record high increase in population. We've talked about this before, how Canada is going to bring in 500,000 immigrants every year for the next 5 years or so. And then the last line of this paragraph says the need to ramp up rental supply has never been greater. The issue with that is municipalities and provinces are not building enough housing. So we're going to see a deficit in housing supply for many years to come if our population keeps going up like this and we're not building at the same rate.
Yeah, so what that says there is we need more landlords. And once again, if you are on our call tonight, the reason why we do these calls, this is our 177th webinar, 177th. I wrote it down today, we've had 12,604 people attend our seminars since we started, 12,000. And if you are attending, the reason why we do this is that we hope you see value, we give value, and that in return, you use us as your real estate agents. It's as simple as that. And I don't know why you wouldn't use us. We give you everything you need to be successful at investing in real estate. We're even going one step further with our clients right now, where we're guaranteeing the property is going to perform. And if it doesn't perform, we will buy it off you. So I don't know who else is doing that, Tim, but it's really, really working for our clients right now, which is really, really successful. One more slide there, Tim, just quickly. We normally have our go-to mortgage broker on our call every time, Danielle. We've given her the night off because we know Basecamp has a whole bunch of stuff going on, and Danielle can go on for a bit sometimes, right?
Yeah, and the title of this, How to Buy Hotels for as little as $50,000. A lot of us have that kind of capital or equity within our rental properties or within our principal residence. You can free that kind of cash up to invest in a certain scenario like Basecamp's going to go over. So if you need to find out how your equity position is in either your rental properties or your principal residence, please give Danielle a call and she'll be able to figure that out for you for free.
Yeah, she's number one mortgage broker in her office right now for a reason.